You mentioned a few minutes ago that some people will be considering actually taking out a loan. They will go out and borrow money to put into their RSP.
Absolutely.
And again, everybody's different, but when is it a good idea to do that?
It's usually a good idea when, in my assessment, when it's a short-term loan. And what you want to do is look at your situation now and see if, first of all, it has to be feasible. If you have the contribution limit, right? So if you've contributed and you're maxed out, it doesn't make sense, but you have the contribution limit, then that's helpful. The second thing is if you're in a marginal tax rate where contributing to the RSP makes sense, right? Now, if you've passed those two thresholds, then you look and see, okay, can I contribute? And can I take a loan?
So you got to have the space to begin with.
Absolutely have the space. And it has to make financial sense to contribute based on your income. And $50,000 is usually that threshold.
You got to be making $50,000 a year, and if you're over that, then it might make sense to go borrow.
Absolutely.
Even at, say, 6-7% interest rates?
Okay, so here's where we look at if it makes sense or not. The way I like to look at it is you want to borrow an amount that you will receive in your tax refund, so that tax refund essentially pays off that loan.
Gotcha. In which case it's not quite free money, but it's sort of free money.
You probably carry that loan. Say you take the loan in February and you get your tax refund in March. You probably carry the loan over 2 months, right? So, and if you have a deferral aspect, which a lot of these loans offer deferrals, then the benefit there is you probably carried it for 2 months. And then once you receive the refund, you have to realize is the refund is not...
Don't go and buy a TV set.
I was just want to say, your refund is not a sign from the universe that you should tick off going to the grill in Jamaica because it's on your vision board. It's because we had a plan in place for you to take that refund and to pay off that loan. So there's a human behavior aspect to this, but if all things hold, that's exactly what you want to do.
Now, Anthony, I'm guessing you raised that because you know people who have actually done that.
100%. We have had the plan in place, but when the refund has actually hit the account, different things become priority.
Are you allowed to give your clients HE double hockey sticks when they go out and take that refund and buy a new TV instead of paying down the loan?
I'm not allowed to, but I will, I try to book a time in the calendar where I reach out to them when I anticipate they're going to have that refund to say, hey, just a reminder, this should be hitting your account any day soon. And so these are the things that we agreed that we're going to do.
This is not found money. Be responsible. Pay down debt.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so there are circumstances, as you've just described, where it does make sense to borrow in order to top up an RSP.
Yeah.
Give me the other side of the coin, where it really is not a good idea to go out and borrow to top up your RSP.
Okay, so here's the thing. You borrow to put money in an RSP, and you're carrying that interest rate over, say, a year or two. No, here's the thing. You have an RSP. You hope that it does well, of course. Past performance doesn't determine future performance, but here's the thing. If you borrow and you're carrying that loan for an extended time, and the interest, by the way, is not deductible, and then you have an RSP that, for whatever reason, is not performing well, and you have a loan that is, say, prime plus. Prime right now, I believe, is 7.2%. So plus is going to, extraordinarily high.
It's getting up there.
Exactly, and you have an RSP that's not performing well. And what it does is it creates financial anxieties. And quite frankly, the world as it is, a lot of people are dealing with financial anxiety, and this is one additional thing. So what you want to do is not be putting yourself in that situation where you have interest that's being carried on for investment that potentially may not perform. And I know the goal is to invest in the long term, but still, it doesn't prevent the financial anxieties that may come with that.
So have you got clients to whom you have said, under other circumstances, I'd recommend borrowing to top up your RSP, but not you. You shouldn't do it. So
there's a formula, actually. There's a numbers formula to see if it makes sense or not. And even then, because the way I look at RSPs, the way I look at all of these these financial vehicles, they're all part of a plan. So you look at your financial strategy generally from a holistic standpoint, and you look at what you're doing and see if that fits within the plan. Now, there's certain instances where, from a numerical standpoint, it may make absolute sense, not that carrying the long-term loan makes sense, where you will sit with an individual and it will provide them an anxiety that it doesn't make sense to actually use that strategy, which is where I think it's not just looking at these things individually, but looking at it at a holistic standpoint.
Anxiety is a big part of financial planning, isn't it?
Huge part of it. It's a huge part of being a human, and particularly where finances are concerned.